Caitanya Bhagavata Part 2, Chapter 8. I'm backtracking a little bit because someone skipped ahead 30 pages 2 days ago. So we're in Jagannatha Puri. All the devotees have come from Navadvip Mandal, Srikanda, and Saptagram, and Shantipur, and they're on their way, and they've arrived in Puri. They met Lord Caitanya. They're very near to Narendra Sarovara, which is the place where Jagannatha has his yearly boat festival, Loka Vihar. And Loka Vihar is every evening they have in Narendra Sarovara. It's a specific Sarovara which was built for the service of the Lord Jagannatha. And he takes his boat ride there every summer for 21 days, the 21 hottest days of the summer. In the daytime he's covered with chanda, it's called chanda matra. Then in the evening, that's quite cooling, then he takes a bath and then he comes out and rides in his boat. So Lord Caitanya went to Narendra Sarovara and had a wonderful festival there. Namaskar, Haime Advaita Ananda Avatar. Advaita Prabhu appeared to be the incarnation of bliss as he recited a verse while offering obeisances to Lord Gauranga. Jata Saja Anichila Prabhu Puji Bhare Savadravya Pasarila Kichuna Ispore. Advaita completely forgot about whatever items he had brought for worshipping the Lord, being overwhelmed with happiness upon meeting the Lord. Ananda Advaita Singha Karina Homkara Anilan 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 Bali Dake Bhari Bharavahar. In great happiness, the lion like Sri Advaita loudly roared and repeatedly exclaimed, I brought you, I brought you. We did that already also. Alright, he brought him down. Right? He brought the Lord down. Hena se hailati ucha hari dwani. Loka Loka Purna Haila Hema Anamani. At that point, the loud vibration of the holy names of the Lord filled the entire universe. Ucha Hari Dwani. Vaishnavera Kidhaya Agyana Jatajan. Taharo Hari Bali Karya Krandan. What to speak of the Vaishnavas, even fools cried and chanted the name of the Lord, Hari. Sarvabhakta Goshti Anyanye Galadhari. Anande Ravana Kari Bali Hari. All the devotees embraced one another as they chanted the holy names of Hari and cried in joy. Advaitere Sabe. So the Vrindavan Thakur explained how the Vaishnavas were chanting the name of the Lord, and even the fools, the Agyan, those who didn't know anything of what was going on or who was there, they did not know the identity of Nityananda or Advaita or Gauranga. But even they were chanting the name of Hari. They got caught up in the enthusiasm of the whole event of everyone gathered together, meeting in ecstasy. And then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati makes a nice comment, because he talks, there's the Vaishnavas, the Kidaya and Agyan. He says, in this world, there are two classes of devotees, Vaishnavas and fools. Murka, Pagal. The Vaishnavas and the fools. Those who are averse and against Hari Bhakti are fools. And those who are servants of Hari, they are averse to material enjoyment. They are Vaishnavas. Although every living entity is by nature a Vaishnava, they are divided into two classes. Those that are inclined to serve the Lord and those who don't or aren't inclined. That's where we left off. We finished that. Advaitere Sava Kailena Namaskar Janhara Nimitta Sri Caitanya Avatar. Everyone offered obeisances to Advaita, who was the cause of Lord Chaitanya's descent. The Nimitta. There's the Upadan Karan and then the Nimitta Karan. Nimitta. The Nimitta Karan, Upadan Karan. Nimitta Karan means the immediate cause. And Upadan Karan means the efficient or original cause. In other words, Sarva Karana Karanam is Krishna, he's the cause of all causes. And obviously the cause of Lord Gauranga's advent was he had two internal and external purposes of his own, irregardless of the puja and worship at Vaidhyacharya. The Lord, he only moves on his own will and the love of his devotees, of course, also. Krishna moves on his own will as Ichcha Shakti. Krishna's Ichcha Shakti moves according to the will of love. Very interesting. So Krishna has his independence as Svatantra Bhagavan, and he has this Ichcha Shakti, this desire potency. Whatever he wants, it happens automatically. Let there be light, or what is it? This in the Bible it says something. But just as soon as the Lord wants something, it happens. But if the Lord wants something, but love wants something else, then love conquers his willpower. Because we say the willpower, so willpower means Ichcha Shakti. We have willpower, but sometimes we get conquered by another person's will. Our will gets overpowered. So in this case, Krishna's Ichcha Shakti gets overpowered by the Prem Shakti of his devotees. So in one sense, at Vaidhyacharya, he didn't really overpower his will Shakti because it was Gauranga's will to appear in this world for his confidential reasons of understanding the Radha Pranaya Mahima, understanding the greatness of Radha's love, and that great sweetness in him, and what happiness, what Sokya, happiness Radharani feels by lovingly serve that beautiful sweet form of Krishna. So for these internal reasons, Lord Krishna Gauranga wanted to come here to this planet. But he's saying here that he was the cause, Advaita was the cause for Advaita, but it says Nimitta, he's the Nimitta. And the translation merely says Advaita Prabhu is the cause of Chaitanya's advent. But the author is being very specific, he's using the word Nimitta, Nimitta Karana, like we say Naimittik Leela, Naimittik Leela and Nitya Leela. Nitya Leela is Ashtakalya Leela, the eightfold daily pastimes of Radha and Krishna, beginning with Pratak Leela, sunrise and going on till midnight and later, Ratri Leela. That happens every day, daily. There's Naimittik Leela, killing demons, the appearance of Krishna, or even that's Naimittik Leela, occasional, and there's seasonal pastimes which also come under the category of Naimittik Leela. The Sharad Purnima Rasa dance is not daily, it's occasional, so it's Naimittik in that sense. So Gauranga Mahaprabhu's Nimitta Karan is Vaidhyacharya's Shalagram Puja and his crying and offering of tulsi leaf, because Krishna is purchased by anyone who offers a tulsi leaf. It's interesting in the Bhagavad Gita, if you read the Bhagavad Gita as it is, Prabhupada is mentioning the verse 9th chapter, verse 26. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhakti prachati. So there Krishna says, anyone offers me a leaf, a flower, fruit or water, I will accept it if it's offered with love and devotion. And there's no mention of what kind of leaf that is, although Acharya's comment. But later in the Bhagavad Gita, we saw, I think maybe in chapter 11 in the purport, where Prabhupada's actually mentions, when Krishna talks about offering him a leaf, he means the tulsi leaf. So even Prabhupada indicates that it's patram pushpam phalam in Gita, 9th chapter. Krishna is saying, if someone offers me a leaf, I mean specifically a tulsi leaf, I become very happy. So even Prabhupada was revealing that. So then in the same way, Vaidhyacharya is offering tulsi patra, which is so pleasing and satisfying to Bhagavan Sri Krishna, and chandan to the Krishna's form as Shalagram. So that was the nimitta cause. And his loud crying for the mercy of the Lord on behalf of the conditioned souls. This is the nature. The devotees express mercy on behalf of others. Devotees, they've received the great preachers and liberated souls. They are walking abodes of mercy. They themselves are reservoirs of mercy. They receive so much mercy from the Lord. They're considered representatives of the ocean of mercy. They are the ocean of mercy. Kripa Shakti Murti. They're forms of mercy. But yet, he didn't feel he had enough mercy. Advaitacharya didn't feel he had enough mercy to liberate the fallen souls on his own. So he begged for Patita Pavan Avatar to come. Needed more mercy. So Karuna Mahi Radha, with her ocean of karuna and compassion, she entered the form of Krishna, his heart, and covered his beautiful body with her kanti, knowing that he would be rolling on the ground in ecstasy, trying to contain and experience her Mahabhav, that he would not be able to contain it without rolling on the ground, and so she wanted to protect his transcendental form with the kanti kavacha. Radharani's kanti kavacha. Kavacha, we have Narayan kavacha and Nishrayan kavacha. These are mantras which we chant to protect our physical and mental bodies from ghosts and demons and enemies and other things. So similarly, Radharani's protected Krishna's body with her kanti. Radha Kanti and Radha Bhav. So this is Radharani, so much compassion. So that compassion of Radharani came here in the form of Gauranga, Radha Krishna Yugal, in response to Advaita's prayers for someone that was so compassionate, so merciful, could liberate the fallen souls of Kali Yuga. Because Advaitacharya didn't feel he had that much mercy to do that job. Although he tried in his own way to preach and spread Harinam Sankirtan in Shantipur and Navadvip, he thought the odds are so big here. Then Gauranga Mahaprabhu came as Patita Pavan Avatar to save all of us. Not only a handful of Shaktas and Navadvip, but all the rest of us, derelicts and debauchees, the wretched souls of Kali Yuga. There was one offering, a prompt made by one, a Vyasa Puja offering, by one disciple. He said, Prabhupada, many yogis came from America. Even in 1893, one great Anand yogi, Shankar, follower of Shankar, Anand, he came to the World Parliament of Religion Conference in Chicago in 1893. And so many other teachers came, but then they only preached like Dr. Mishra's yoga studio on West 55th Street, uptown, in a swanky apartment rented by his disciples. He was giving yoga classes to middle-aged widows and middle-aged housewives, or middle-aged overweight housewives and widows. He was middle-aged overweight housewives and widows. Dr. Mishra, Bengali yogi teacher from India, Bengal. He was giving classes to them in yoga, Hatha Yoga, and the philosophy of Shankar, Advaita Siddhanta. But this disciple said most all the yogis, and there was another one, what's his name? Another Paramahamsa, famous Paramahamsa also went in the 50s. And again he preached to all the wealthy people of California, movie stars, etc. And basically all the yogis and Indian gurus that came to America, they simply preached to the wealthy, the very wealthy people. But Prabhupada, this story said, he went to the lowest section of town where all the drug addicts and the lost homeless people, the homeless lost people were the young people that were looking for a new order in life, and Prabhupada rolled up his sleeves. He rolled up his sleeves and he stuck his hand into the gutter. And the gutters, the drains running along the street, are all black mud and stool and all garbage and everything there. he was willing to stick his hands there and grab a few souls that had fallen into the cesspool of material existence in the Kali Yuga of New York City. And he pulled them up, and he cleaned them off, and dried them off, and dressed them in dhotis and saris, and gave them tilak and kantimala, and japamala, and initiated them as Krishnadas and Radhadasi. Only Prabhupada was that compassionate, that merciful, to get his hands dirty and wet to save the fallen souls. So this is the mood of the true savior of humanity. The enlightened, compassionate guru doesn't see high or low, he just sees all equally. Vidyavanaya sampane brahmaningavich hashtaning shunicheva sapakecha pandita samadarshana. Everyone is a devotee of the Lord, and everyone needs to get the mercy. So with the Acharya, he invoked Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Then Prabhupada Gauranga Mahaprabhu invoked Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada came to this world and he spread the name and form qualities and pastimes of Gauranga and Nityananda and Advaita all over the universe. Right now in Russia, there are something like 5,000 or 10,000 temples of Gaur Nitai. Maybe 10,000, I think. 1980 something, 87. I remember there was one godbrother of ours, Kirti Raj. He was something to do with Russia and Harikesh Swami. So there's one wealthy businessman in Calcutta, Marwari, I think he's not here now, he's Golok Rapti. Tulsian Dio or something like that. Very wealthy man, donated lots of money for the Radhamadhava temple. And also you'll see the name on some plaques there. ISKCON, Mayapur. So he donated money and he had purchased from Navadvip brass Ashtadhatu deities of Gaur Nitai, and they're all about 6-8 inches long, maybe 8 inches tall. And then Kirtiraj was telling me, I said, what's all these boxes? I was in a room in the temple, all these wooden boxes were there. Oh, these are like armies of deities. You want to see, so you open the box, and boxes are, so these armies, there's whole armies and armies of Gaur Nitai deities. And these deities are going to march into Russia and take over Russia. There's something like 5,000 sets. He said, there's the 5,000 sets are sponsored by this nice devotee. And they'll be, given or worshipped by Grihastha families all over Russia. So Patita Bhava and Gaur Nitai are going everywhere. So Prabhupada started this mass movement as a Senapati. He's a Senapati Bhakta. Gauranga Mahaprabhu predicted in the Caitanya Bhagavata. Ailochan Das Thakur, he said in the future a great Senapati Bhakta will come to spread the glories of Gauranga Nam Sankirtan, Krishna Nam Sankirtan, and the worship of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Patita Pavan Avatar all over the world. Well, Senapati, there's so many Senapatis. Senapati is a Bengali term for Commander-in-Chief of the Allied Forces. Commander-in-Chief of the Army is a Senapati. But Prabhupada is a Senapati Bhakta, Param pure devotee of the Lord. So we can say it was this one or it was that one, but a commander-in-chief of the army, like Caesar was commander-in-chief of the Roman army, at the Roman Empire. He went, he didn't sit back in the Oval Office talking on a cell phone, watching on the infrared screen of the Battle of Iraq or something at nighttime. He was right there leading the troops, a valiant warrior, Kshatriya, Caesar. So the commander-in-chief of the army is right there in the front. So Prabhupada, and he went and conquered the whole world, Caesar. So Prabhupada is the Sena Bhakti of Lord Gauranga, predicted in Caitanya Bhagavata. He went around the whole world and conquered Maya. Because everyone was conquered by Maya. So if you want to free your friends from the enemy forces, you have to conquer the enemy to free your friends. So all the devotees are the friends of Prabhupada. So he came and conquered Maya, so we could get free from the opposition forces. Get free from the opposition forces of lust and anger and greed and sense enjoyment and material energy, and enlist in the service of the Supreme Emperor. Because there's the Commander-in-Chief of the army, then there's their Emperor. The Emperor is the Commander-in-Chief works like there was a famous Man Singh of Jaipur. He was the Commander-in-Chief of the army for Emperor Akbar. So when Emperor Akbar attacked Jagannath Puri, the leader of the army was the Hindu Commander-in-Chief Man Singh, believe it or not. But, and it's the same Man Singh who petitioned his boss, the Emperor Akbar, please, my guru is Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, and he wants me to build a temple for the deity of his Shiksha Guru Sri Rupa Goswami. So will you please donate the best royal stone, this royal red stone, this royal red color. Usually when you get red sandstone, there's all little yellow spots in it. Little yellow spots and dots you'll see in red sandstone. To get pure blood red sandstone, which is quite hard and characteristically hard, whereas sandstone is soft. And that uniform color was reserved for the emperor and for his palace. He has some palace, Fatehpuri. Yeah, it's down there somewhere by Agra. Yeah. So that's his place. It's made of that. And there's a red fort. You've heard of the red fort in Delhi? I think that may be his place, or his relatives, or whatever. So that's the royal stone. So he donated that, Akbar, for the temple of Govindaji, that big temple, and engaged all the people to carve it also, because they're all Muslim carvers. His private carvers came from that place near Agra. So this is the commander. Prabhu is the commander-in-chief for the emperor Gauranga. He brought us all there. Maha Uchadwani Maha Kari Sankirtan Dui Goshte Karite Lagila Tatakshan. The two groups of devotees made a great commotion as they engaged in loud performance of Sankirtan. It appears whenever devotees get together, what do? They chat, they dance, they take prasad, they sleep, have some harikatha. This is the basic program of Gauranga Mahaprabhu's mission. Sing and dance, get hungry, take some prasad, get tired, rest, wake up. You want to get inspired, and enjoy the relishing of harikatha. You hear some class, and chant some more. So here the devotees are meeting. When devotees come together, what do? They all get, so two groups of devotees met each other in Puri and started talking prajapa. No, it doesn't say that. It doesn't say they started talking about their wives and husbands, how's your kids, and this and that. They engage in Sankirtan, loud, ucha, maha ucha dwani maha kari Sankirtan. It says that maha ucha dwani, ucha, very loud sound they're making. Maha, very big loud sound they're making. And then it was maha ucha and maha Sankirtan. Everybody was involved. The Dui Goshti, the two groups, and Tatakshana, at that very moment, they engaged. Kotake va nacheke va kon dike bhai, ke va kon dike pari gadagari jai. No one knew who was dancing where, who was singing what way, or who was rolling on the ground in which direction. It's like a bedlam. It's a mad circus of frenzied Sankirtan. Everyone's leading and everyone's following. No one knew who was leading the kirtan, no one knew who was following. They were dancing here and there and everywhere. Prabhu dekhi sabe haila ananda vival. Prabhu nachina maje parama mangal. Everyone became overwhelmed with happiness on seeing Gauranga. And Gauranga made everything most auspicious by dancing in their midst. They were happy just to see Lord Chaitanya. Prabhu dekhi ananda vival. They became bewildered and overwhelmed Vival, in bliss just to see the Lord, to have His sweet darshan. Because they hadn't seen Him for months, 8 months. 8 months they were in Navadvip, waiting after Chaturmasya to return to Navadvip. And now they're coming back after 8 months. Oh, there He is. So happy. Because whether you see the Lord, however you experience the Lord, it's... And one definition of Sakshat Darshan I saw in Bhakti Sandarbha, Jiva Goswami says, Sakshat means direct, but Sakshat Darshan also means to see the Lord in your heart. And he had a very nice definition. He said, when one is absorbed in serving the Lord, he feels the presence of the Lord in his heart. Because Sakshat means the presence of, or to see, or to experience a direct presence. So when one feels a direct presence of the Lord in his heart, by doing intense and serious pure devotional service, and at that time, and that experience of the Lord in his heart, that's Sakshat, that's direct. Sakshat means direct. Direct darshan of the Lord. Not only with the eyes, but the eyes of the heart. See the Lord. So now they're seeing the Lord in their heart when they were in Navadvip, by remembering Him and hearing about Him regularly by messengers and mailmen going back and forth between Puri and Navadvip. But now they saw Him Sakshatkar directly with their eyes. They're so blissful. And if that wasn't enough to make them happy, then he reciprocated with their hearts. Oh, you're looking at me, and you're feeling Ananda Vival, and you're feeling so blissful that you're looking at me with your eyes, but your heart is jumping. Your heart is jumping. Because when you see someone you love, when your eyes gaze upon someone you love, your heart starts jumping. You feel happy. You feel some excitement, some happiness goes inside. In a figurative way, the heart is jumping. So understanding how their hearts were fluctuating with this great bliss of love, then Lord Chaitanya said, your hearts are jumping, my heart is also dancing and jumping. So then he responded to the dancing of their hearts. When you're blissful, you see someone you love, you become happy. And bliss starts to pour through your veins and starts to bathe your mind. And when you feel happy, then you want to dance. Your heart starts dancing also. Oh, my beloved. Like the mother sees the son after a long time, and the mother feels so happy. And then she wants to embrace him, because her heart wants to touch his heart. So the only way to have a heart touch another heart is to embrace them, or to look at them lovingly, or to speak to them lovingly. So many ways we try to touch hearts. Like people say, a very common phrase people say nowadays, oh, what's your cell number? Let's keep in touch. But we should call out to Krishna, Ucha Haridwani. Ucha Haridwani, loudly we should call out to Krishna. Krishna! Caitanya Mahaprabhu, he rushed to Advaita and clasped him in a tight embrace as tears of joy drenched his body. Sri Advaita continuously uttered verses glorifying Gauranga, beaming with happiness. Advaita forgot about the articles and foodstuffs that he and his party had carried with them. Rumbling like thunder, Hunkara, he simply repeated, I have brought, I have brought. The devotees began to loudly chant the holy name, which then echoed in all directions. What to speak of the Vaishnavas, even others who had just come to see what was happening, became so inspired that they also loudly chanted Hari Hari and wept in unrestrained joy. The Vaishnavas were embracing each other as they wept and chanted. Each Vaishnava offered obeisances to Sri Advaita, knowing that he was the cause of Sri Chaitanya's advent. Meanwhile, the whole assembly of Vaishnavas was engaged in a mammoth Sankirtan. Mahasankirtan, mammoth. Devotees were singing and dancing everywhere. Some devotees were rolling in the dust, unable to check their ecstatic feelings. Sri Chaitanya entered the midst of everyone and joined in the exultant dancing. It's extremely wonderful English, very poetic and very descriptive. This is the translation from Bengali into English by our godbrother Sarvabhava Das, who's a Bengali. from birth. And the extremely good expert editing done by Caitanya Bhagavata, another godbrother, I think lives in Vrindavan. He's from England. They really know English. So I find it's quite moving. But we can just read that, but I like all these Bengali. And it's very purifying to hear the Bengali. As Prabhupada once said in Los Angeles, devotees didn't understand, they weren't chanting much the Sanskrit. And Prabhupada said, why aren't you chanting responsively the verses written on the board? And someone raised their hand and said, Prabhupada, we don't understand Sanskrit. It's hard. And Prabhupada replied at that time, he had a small class even before the class for 5 minutes or so. He said, even if you don't know the Sanskrit, this language is called Devanagari, the language of the gods. And this is very purifying. This language is vibration. Dehino shvinyata dehe komanam yavanam jara tata dehantara praktir diras tatra namuyati. It's very purifying just to hear. You just listen. You read the verse and you chant. Even if you don't understand it, even if it's not your language, you'll become extremely purified by hearing and chanting these Sanskrit shlokas. And keeping that in mind, that we're becoming purified by hearing and chanting these Bengali shlokas by Vedavyas, written in the form of Vrindavan's Thakur, Caitanya Bhagavata. So as we heard there, the Lord, everyone became overwhelmed, and the Lord made everything most auspicious by dancing in the middle of all the devotees. Parama Mangala. Nityananda Vaite Karya Kola Koli Natchedui Makta Singha Hai Kutuhali. Nityananda and Vaita embraced each other and then danced like two mad, well, says they danced like two mad lions. Now, that's an interesting analogy. Because if you ever see in the movies like National Geographic or something, two lions. Lions means two kings of the one jungle. The king of the jungle is a lion, but if another lion, little younger lion comes in, or maybe it's the Yuvraj lion, his eldest son, starts to challenge the king, then there's a fight. And even in the Roman times, in the Colosseum, the gladiators used to ride on lions themselves. And sometimes you ride on horses and have battle on horses, but for the entertainment of the king of Rome, maybe Caesar, I don't know, they would ask the gladiators to ride on the back of a lion. So they would sit on the back of a lion with a rope around his neck, and then the two lions would all drug up or whatever, I don't know. Lions would come out and start to try to kill each other. And the gladiators just had to ride on the lions, that's all. And then they had a sword in case they fell off and the lion wanted to eat them. So it's quite an interesting combination of battle. Lions are battling each other, so people are watching the battling lions. And sometimes if the gladiator fell off his lion, then the lion would try to have a little encouragement for fighting by eating the gladiator. Then the gladiator would have to fight. I saw paintings like this also. National Geographic magazine, 1957. When I was 6 years old. They were showing, they had pictures of the Colosseum, and in Rome there's this round stadium, you call it stadium, called the Colosseum. It was all bleachers sort of run together. And it was described in writing, there's different kinds of sports that would go on there. So then they showed paintings and inset. It's in Rome, I think so, isn't it? Colosseum, yeah. It's like a big, it's a round thing. See, it's like an original stadium, like New York Stadium or whatever. They have baseball, whatever, football games, the Rose Bowl or whatever they call it in America. So they were dancing like these two lions, Nitai and Advaita. They just embraced each other. They started dancing like mad lions. This is a Mata Singha Kutuhali, so they're mad. And then Sarva Vaishnavere Prabhu Dari Jani Jani Alingana Karina Parama Priti Mane. Mahaprabhu embraced each and every Vaishnava with great affection. He was loving everyone. They say God is love, love is God, God is love, love, love. People say, like these Mayavadis sometimes they say, even other Mayavadis, they speak in all these, like this, every song. Love, God is love, universal love. Within all of us, the light of love is shining everywhere. And they just speak all these things, love, this, that. But ultimately love is light, and light is love, and love is light, and light is cosmic consciousness, the Brahman. And love never ends. Think about Mayavadis, they have a very nice tone of voice, and they preach so mentally attractively, and very interesting poetic terms, and cute little phrases, and nice high-pitched voices, and long beards, of course, and long hair, and sparkly eyes. Maybe put some eye tone inside them. Very sparkly eyes. And then they talk about love, but they never talk about a person to love. They never explain that love means serving the person you love. Oh no, there's no such thing. If you've ever heard or read their books, they always because there's nothing more attractive in the entire world than love. Because love means beauty, charm, and sweetness. The word love means beauty, charm, and sweetness. That's the meaning of love. And that beauty and charm and sweetness is expressed in relationships between two individuals in the context of serving one to the other. This is love. But they say, guys, if he wants to make it big in the world, he has to talk about bliss. Transcendental bliss. Love. But this is real love. Prema lingana parama priti parama priti man. He was man, and his mind was full of the topmost parama priti. Priti sandarbha means love. The topmost love was there. Ocean of love, anandam buddhivardhanam. How can you write about the ocean of love unless you are the ocean of love? How do you write about computers unless you know something about computers? And the more you know about computers, the more you're immersed in knowledge of computers, your tadatmika, computer gyan tadatmika. You're one with the knowledge of computers, the more expertly you can write about it, describe it, especially if you designed it or made the thing. So, where Caitanya Shikshastram, he's talking about non-sankirtan. Anandam buddhivardhanam pratibhadam purnamita svadanam. Anandam buddhivardhanam. It's an ocean which is unfathomable and immeasurable practically to start with. And then it's vardhanam. It's increasing and increasing and increasing more and more. Anandam buddhi. Ambudhi means ocean. He's writing that. Where did the ocean of Sankirtan, where does it have its origin? The ocean of Sankirtan, the ocean of blissful, unlimited, the unlimitedly expansive ocean of bliss has its origin in the heart of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. And that whole ocean is now coming out through his arms, through his eyes and form, and he's embracing Prabhu Dari Jane Jane, Parama Priti Mane. Every single devotee there, he's Dari, he's holding him in a loving embrace, tight loving embrace. Parama Priti, the topmost transcendental love. Parama Priti Mane. This is the ocean of love. This is the meaning of Anandam Buddhivardhanam. Anandam Buddhi, Ambudhi Anand, means an ocean of bliss expanding. So this is how he's expanding. He's expanding his ocean of bliss by embracing each and every devotee, and as soon as he embraces them, their hearts become oceans of bliss. This is what it means to chant Harinam Sankirtan. When we chant without offense, Shuddhanam, then the ocean of bliss enters our heart. Ananda Mudivardhana. Our hearts become an Ananda Ambudhi. Our hearts become an ocean of bliss. And it is in that ocean of bliss that appears in the heart of every jiva when he chants Shuddhanam. It is in that ocean that Gauranga swims. It is in that ocean that Gauranga floats in the waves of your love, in that Parama Priti within the heart. That is the ocean. When Lord Chaitanya is floating in the waves of the ocean at Puri, that ocean he's floating in is not the Bay of Bengal. The ocean of Lord Chaitanya is floating in the waves. It's the Prem Taranga of the Sringar Rati Samudra. Sringar Rati Samudra. Sringar Rati means the ocean of erotic conjugal love of Radha and Krishna. Samudra means ocean. He's floating in the Taranga, the waves of that ocean. Otherwise, it's the Bay of Bengal is in salty waves. What is the Lord of love? What interest he has in the waves of a salty ocean? He's not surfing. He's not body surfing. He's not floating on his back. So that ocean is here. And he's embracing everyone. Bhaktanat Bhaktavas Bhaktanat Bhaktavasha Bhaktera Jivan Bhakta Galadari Prabhu Karina Rodhan. Bhaktanath, Bhaktavash, Bhaktera Jivan, Bhakta Galadari Prabhu Karina Rodhan. Caitanya Mahaprabhu is the Bhaktanath. You heard of Jagannatha and Radhanath and Srinathji and Govardhanath. He is the Lord of the devotees, Bhaktanath. And Bhaktavash, Vasha, like we say, Prem Vashibhut. Prem Vashibhut. This is one of the qualities, characteristics of Krishna. He's controlled by love. Prem Vashibhut. If Yashoda has love for Krishna, she can control Krishna. She has Vatsalya Priti, Vatsalya love. And she controlled Krishna by tying up the unconquerable. How can you tie up the Virata Rup? But her love was so great that she was Prem Vashibhut. She was able to subdue and conquer Krishna and Damodar and tie him up. And Radharani, she's Parama Maha Prem Vashibhut. She fully, absolutely controls Krishna by her love. Oh, Bhaktavash, the devotees, he's controlled by his devotees. Bhaktera Jivan. Gauranga is the life of the devotees. Bhakta Gala. And Bhakta Gala and Hari. And he cried as he embraced the devotees. Bhakta Gala and Hari. When he held all the devotees, Rodhan, he cried. Amazing. Evam sandarshita yanga harna britya vashyata savashin napi krishnena yasyeram sheshwaram vashe. In the Bhagavatam, 10th canto, chapter 9, verse 19, Maharaj Parikshit is addressed by Shukadev. The entire universe, including Shiva, Brahma and Indra, is under the control of Krishna. Yet Krishna has one special attribute, that Bhagavan Sri Krishna, although he controls the Mahendra, Indra, Mahesh Shiva, Mahendra, Indra, he controls the Chaturmukh Brahma, Pitamaha Brahma, the Shristi, Shristi Karta, the universe, Brahma, Adi Karta, not the Adi Karta, but the creator of the universe. Still, Krishna comes under the control of his devotees. This is exhibited in his pastime. This was exhibited by Krishna in the pastime of chapter 9 of the 10th canto of Damodar Mantan. What was it? Bandhana, Damodar Mantan Bandhana? Mantan means a churning mortar, Mantan. Damodar Mantan Bandhana, Lila. Damodar was bound to the grinding mortar by Yashoda. So in that pastime he shows, as I mentioned, how he's controlled by his bhaktas. So this is another verse telling the same thing. Harina Britya Vashyata, 10.9.19, Bhagavatam. So the Brityas means the servants. Vashyata means controlled. He's controlled by his servants. Jagannatha Devera Agyaya Se Kshana Sahasra Mala Aila Chandana. By the order of Lord Jagannath, sandalwood pulp and thousands of flower garlands were brought there at that time. Very interesting. So someone might say, Acha, Lord Jagannath is giving orders? He's speaking to his servants? Listen, hey, pujaris, take these mala down and offer them to all the Granga Bhaktas that just arrived from Navadvip, the Sankirtan devotees. And take this chandan pulp also. Yes, Lord Jagannath. It says, Jagannath Dev Agya Se Kshana. At that moment, Se Kshana, that moment the order came. Sahasra Mala Chandan. Thousands and thousands of garlands and thousands of grams of chandan immediately manifested there at that very moment. How did it happen? How does the Lord give orders to anyone? Can anyone, Tom, Dick, or Harry, speak to the Lord? Can the Lord just say, hey, come here? And some people say, oh, last night I was talking to Jesus. I was talking to God. God spoke to me. Because Jagannath is Krishna, Paramatma, Super Soul, he's in everyone's heart. So he dictates, it's called Guru Agya. You've heard of Guru Agya? The order of the Guru? The request, the command, the order, the directive of the Guru? Guru Agya. So the order of the Guru, when you hear there's three Gurus, Diksha Guru, Shiksha Guru, Chaitya Guru, Paramatma Guru. So there's Chaitya Guru Agya, Shiksha Guru Agya, Diksha Guru Agya. And Chaitya Guru can also give orders. So Lord Jagannath is situated in everyone's heart as the supreme Guru of all his servants and Sevaites in Puri Dham, or everyone in the universe for that matter, because he's Jagannath. He's Jagannath, he's the Lord of every jiva, and everyone in the whole universe. So it says here that he ordered his servants in Nilachala to honor the visiting devotees by offering garlands to them. These were Bhagavat Agya Malas, garlands signifying the Lord's order. That's very nice. Agyamalas. That's very interesting. Insight of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai. And he's saying that the Lord arranged that all these Maha garlands and chandan were taken there. If you go to Sri Rangaji temple, in South India, or to Guru Vayor temple, which is maybe Kerala. We've been a couple of times. They're offering, I don't know, kilos and kilos of chandan to the Lord every day, Lord Guru Vayor. There's these big stones around the Prikamar, these big Brahmins are grinding chandan all the time and offering to the Lord and giving the Maha Chandan to the yatris, visitors there. And putting it on a forehead or whatever, so it's like unlimited chandan for some reason. At least this was back in 87, 88 when I went. So in the same way, Jagannath, he has whole forests of chandan trees. Orissa has lots of chandan, so does Bengal, but they're controlled by the government. And he has his private chandan forest, Lord Jagannath, and they harvest the chandan for Jagannath Seva. So he ordered them from within the heart. And when the devotees received that, what Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati is saying, that when the devotees received those garlands, the chandan, and the Maha Chandan and garlands, they understood that they all understood this is the gift of the Lord, this is the mercy of the Lord, that the Lord has directed this to happen. He's directed the Pujari to come and put a garland around my neck. He has directed the Pujari to offer some chandan to me. And especially you feel like that, if you're the only one in a temple and the Pujari gives you a garland or chandan, you can't really exactly conclude that may be the order of the Guru, the order of the deity, or whether it's the order of the Pujari, depending on your gender also. But in a temple there's hundreds of devotees, and 20, 30 devotees taking darshan, and then the Pujari points to someone or calls them over and gives the garland, and generally may consider that that's the order of the Guru. Throughout the Shastras we see many, many times that when a devotee receives a garland from the Lord, or especially a garland, he considers that that's the order of the Lord. The Lord is giving me an order. In the very old age of Krishna's Kaviraj, he had written Govinda Lilamrita and some other works, I believe. And then the devotees in Vrindavan, they said, listen Kaviraj, you are such an expert writer and scholar and pundit, Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami. Why can't you write about the teachings and life story of Caitanya Mahaprabhu? Oh, I am very old and weak, my hand is trembling, I can't write better, I can't write now, and my eyes are not very good. How will I be able to do this? So no, you must do. Kaviraj Goswami, Prabhu, you must do this for the glorification of Gauranga, to keep these memories and teachings alive in the hearts of all the Gaur Bhaktas. Only you can do it. You know all these glories, you've heard all these things, please. Oh, come, let's go to see Madan Mohan, Sanatana Goswami's deity, come. So they took him there, and a big kirtan started, and they're all praying, oh Madan Mohan, please empower our Krishnadas to write this glories and teachings of Lord Chaitanya. And Krishnadas was standing there in front of Madan Mohan. Oh my Lord, I am old and weak and feeble. I can hardly keep my hands from trembling, and my eyes don't work. But all the bhaktas, they want me to write the glories of Mahaprabhu. Please show me some indication that you will help me write this book. And at that moment the garland fell off Madan Mohan. So then the Vajrayana pot and gave to Krishna's Kaviraj, and everybody said, joy. And then he began his writing, and he even wrote in the book, he said, I didn't write this book, Madan Mohan wrote the book. So that garland coming from Madan Mohan was accepted as Bhagavat Mala Agya. Bhagavat Agya Mala. That was considered to be an Agya from Bhagavan, an order from Bhagavan. That Mala was symbolic of his order. Because in this world some official person may write an official letter on stationery. I ordered lower officer to post this doctor in this hospital. So then the person takes that written order from the higher authorities and shows it to the immediate authority and says, listen, the higher authority has written this order. Oh, okay, I follow that. That's my agya, my order. So Lord Jagannath, he writes like this. His letters are flower malas and it's chandan pulp. So this is how we know that this is the order of the Lord. Something special coming like that. Agya mala deki harshe Sri Gaurangarai Agre dila Sri Advaita Singhara Galai. Seeing the garland sent by Jagannath, Lord Gaurasundar became very happy. Agya, the agya, it doesn't even say, it could say pushpamala. Pushpamala. Usually a mala, it's made up, it could be tulsi mala or a ratna mala, a garland, a mala of jewels or tulsi wood or beads. Usually it's pushpamala, a mala of flower mala, pushpamala. But here it says agyamala, even it's referred, continue to be called agyamala. Seeing the agyamala, the order garlands, the command garlands, the blessing garlands, the sanction garlands. Agya means sanction, blessing, command, direction, the order. Seeing the agya garlands, which are flower garlands, sent by Jagannath, Lord Gaurasundar, it says Lord Sri Gauranga, became harsh, very happy, and he first garlanded Sri Advaita Acharya. Sarva Vaishnavara Anga Sri Haste Apani Paripurna Karilena Malaya Chandane. Then Gauranga garlanded and applied sandalwood paste on each and every devotee with his own hand. That I was saying about the Vaishnava Seva. The Lord so much with his own hand. No one says, oh no, Lord Chaitanya, you shouldn't do Seva, you're God. You should just sit down. We'll distribute the sandalwood paste to everyone. We'll distribute the garlands. Sometimes we've seen that. As there's some sannyasi or guru, he's trying to serve. And some devotees go, no, you sit down, we'll serve. But Lord Chaitanya himself is directly serving. Dekhiya Prabhura Kripa Sarvabhaktagan Bahutuli Uchchaiswari Karina Krandan. Seeing this display of Brahma's mercy, all the devotees raised their arms and cried loudly. Crying. Save Agina Vara Shri Charana Dhari Janma Janma Jaina Prabhu Thomas Napasari. The devotees held the feet of Gauranga and they asked for the blessing, may we never forget you life after life, O Gauranga. Now that's something to pray for. Go to the deity of Gauranga and hold on to his feet and pray for the blessings. May we never forget you life after life. Ki manusha pashu pakshi hai jatta tata tomara chana jaina dekhiya sarvata. Mahaprabhu, wherever we may take birth as human beings, animals or birds, may we always see your lotus feet, my Lord. Because who knows what the future holds. Vara Deya Prabhu Karna Sagar Parapadma Dari Kande Savanachar. Oh Lord, oh ocean of mercy, please give us this blessing, benediction. In this way the devotees cried as they held the lotus feet of the Lord to their hearts. I like the poetic flavor of this. These two godbrothers made a good combination here. Nityananda and Vaita were locked in a long, affectionate embrace. Soon they began to dance like intoxicated lions. Sri Chaitanya then went around embracing the Vaishnavas in great jubilation. Sri Gaurasundar, the Lord and Master of the devotees, the captive of his devotees, it's controlled by, the captive of his devotees, the life and soul of his devotees, was now crying like a child, hanging on to his devotees with his arms around their necks. Very graphic. Just crying, all my devotees. Arms like this. Oh. Just then, by the arrangement of Lord Jagannatha, hundreds of prasadi flower garlands and much sandalwood paste were brought to Sri Chaitanya. Sri Gaurasundar was overwhelmed, and he offered the first garland to Sri Advaita Prabhu, placing it around his neck. Gauranga then went around personally garlanding all the Vaishnavas and personally smearing Lord Jagannath's sandalwood paste on different parts of the devotee's upper torso, their chest, arms, like this. Devotees were so moved by the compassion and humility of Sri Gaurahari that they raised their hands and began to loudly chant the Lord's holy name while weeping in joy. They avidly begged, falling at Sri Chaitanya's lotus feet, praying, O Lord, the only boon we ask of you, that we may never forget your lotus feet life after birth, whether we are born as human beings, animals, or birds. And that's where it leads on, where we leave off. Sri Caitanya Bhagavata ki jai.